Welcome back to Bespoke Addict. I have an old music case here, and it has red rot, and I'm going to show you firstly how to identify it's definitely red rot, and then I'm also going to show you how to correctly treat it. It does look very suspicious because the skin is very red in certain places. It's red here, but right next to it it's brown, and I'm wondering if that's got rot. And this is more, this doesn't have any rot, let's see, but there is a way to test it. Now red rot, it's weird, it doesn't really feel any different, and it doesn't generally make the skin brittle, but it breaks down on the surface and it goes powdery and it just breaks and washes away, which when you're touching it you don't generally feel. Now what happens if you get a moisturiser, like the Sophia Creme, and you apply that as you normally would to dry skin, it feels like there's grit or sand in the cream, and the skin breaks down very quickly and clogs up into little balls. It's horrible, and the more you rub the worse it gets, and you can't stop it. So moisturising this will make it worse. But the very easy way to tell is just to take a piece of tissue and just wipe the suspicious area, and if it comes onto the tissue, tiny bit. Let's do a bit on the other side. Yeah, we're definitely getting some transfer. Yeah, we've definitely got some red transfer onto the tissue. Let's just give it a hard rub. Yeah, bright red. It's got red rot. Let's just, out of interest, do that little corner with a clean bit, I say. That still appears brown. It doesn't look like it's got any red. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's not transferring so much onto the tissue. So, there's a good contrast. That's what natural leather should look like. And right next to it, we've got a bit of infected leather, which is bright red. That's interesting. So this skin has already been treated, and there's no, let's just get a clean bit of the tissue. Last time I tried this about a year ago, no transfer onto the tissue whatsoever. I did this on camera, and when I gave it a quick wipe before treatment, the tissue was red. These are wonderful 1920s gillies by Peel & Co. They did have red rot, and they've been treated extensively. I've yet to finish them, and I've treated them and put them away for a year, but there is various little niggles on them that need dealing with before I get around to nourishing and moisturising and wearing these things. But that's what treated skin looks like. Quite frankly, you can't tell. You can't tell that it's been. And this one does look a bit of a. Anyway, let's stop gossiping. What I need is Klucel G. Let's just move it into the camera. Klucel G. And this comes as a powder. Let's get a knife or something. Just looks like any suspicious white powder. And that's how you buy it. It's like a cellulose type of product. And what you have to do is dissolve it in alcohol. I've been using isopropyl alcohol, and just neat. And what I did, I put about a tablespoon, I don't know, 15, 10 grams, I don't know how many grams, but about a tablespoon or so in the bottom, and put about an inch of alcohol, and stirred it. It takes a day or so. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, that was quite dusty. Anyway, I used about a tablespoon, and did about a third of alcohol and stirred it, and it takes a couple of 3 days to dissolve. And then when it had dissolved, I put a little bit more powder in there and dissolved that, and a little bit more. It took about a week, and you can see it's like a gritty. It sits on the bottom, and you shake it up and stir it, and eventually it dissolves. And you keep adding and adding, and eventually it simply stops dissolving, so you know the solution is completely saturated. And that's what I used on here. And I've since made up a whole jar here, which it's probably got 4 or 5 scoops, 2 tablespoons of Cluecel in there. Anyway, I've not used this particular solution. And there we go. I've got a bit of trusty old cardboard down. The jar's rather full. So, and I'm just going to use a dauber that you would normally use for dyeing. But I could use a brush, I could use a cloth. It really doesn't matter. And you literally just paint this on. And that is it. Let me just slush a bit about. Then I'll get rid of the jar, because the jar, it has done a good chance of spilling it. And this is it. You just paste it on everywhere. And the alcohol will evaporate, and it will leave behind the cellulose sort of product that binds the leather and binds the skin. And I think I did the gillies twice from memory. Probably didn't need to, but that is it. You just let that dry, and then when it's completely dry, you can test it again with the tissue, and if there's still powder, do it again. Now, book conservators use this product, and they wouldn't be applying it like this. They would apply it, you know, this is thick, sort of bridal type leather. You know, that on paper you would be very, very, very careful, but it's exactly the same product. So, okay, let's get a bit more Cluecel. Now, once I've treated this thoroughly, I'll be able to nourish and moisturise and condition this skin, make it look nice again. Or not. I could just leave it, and it would look a bit like this, which is exactly what that skin looked like before treatment. If you can bother to go through the old videos, you'll find me discovering the red rot in those shoes, being disappointed, and then preparing them for treatment. But that's it. That's all there is to it. And it stops the red rot in its tracks. It binds the sort of fibres in the skin. It just stops it breaking down, and that's it. That's all. I'm not going to do the whole bag, because I'm going to end up nudging and spilling my products. You know, trying to sort of work the camera here. I'll work somewhere more suitable. And I've already tested the inside, but there is a risk that the rock could be on the inside as well. But it isn't. It's not transferred onto the tissue. So we're pretty sure that by treating the outside only, it's just a few microns that need treating. If it was severe, it could have come all the way through, but it hasn't, so we don't need to treat the inside. And that's it. I have 2 or 3 products. I've got a pair of boots, I've got another bag that all need the same treatment. So I'm going to do this morning. And I just wanted to show you that one. That one's already been done. And you can't feel it, you can't smell it, you can't see it. And that skin is ready for nourishing and polishing. That's it. If I'd have tried to nourish it and polish it before, I'd have got that gritty, the surface would have broken down immediately with contact with the moisturiser, and it would have spoiled the surface. I'd have lost quite a bit of skin. It would have gone gritty, horrible. Yeah, so just, yeah, it can be done. Now, I can't remember what I paid for this. I've had it a while. I don't know, but probably about £30. There's 200 grams there, but that's a huge amount. You can buy it in small pouches, like a little, I don't know, 5 grams or 10 grams. 200 grams in here. You know, 5 or 10 grams would probably be enough. You can buy a little sachet, and it will come just the powder. It won't come already mixed. Then you'll need some isopropyl alcohol to dissolve it, and it does take time. It takes several days. It doesn't happen quickly. You can see the powder sort of floating about in the alcohol, and then it goes lumpy and like a gelatinous sticky, and then eventually it becomes completely clear like this and quite fluid. So if it's sticky, you need to add a drop more alcohol. If it's really, really runny, you need to, you know, after it's absorbed, you need to apply a little more. Actually, look, there's a little bit at the bottom, look. It hasn't quite absorbed all of that. Let's just try and break it off. because this solution's so saturated, any residue is gone to the bottom. And let's just see if I can break it off. Yeah, so I know that, yeah, there it is, look, just floating about. So it's obviously heavier, so it drops to the bottom. So we're fine to take product from the top here. Yeah, we've got little tiny bits now floating about. So this is so saturated it can't take any more without adding more alcohol. But of course, because it's full, I can't add more alcohol, but that's fine. Anyway, this video is getting rather longer than I expected, but I just wanted to show you how to deal with red rocks. It's quite a common problem. And the only product really that any leather restorers, professional book conservators, etc. use is the Klucel G.